Look, I gotta be honest with this one. I think this was the most painful thing I've ever had to review.
And you've been here the longest.
I've been here the longest. I went through Rings of Power. This is worse than Rings of Power for sure. I have so much unbridled rage right now. I don't know if I can do this video.
I like Witcher. And this hurt on that level as well as on the level of common sense. I think we actually have to deal with this rage somehow, because if we don't, we might actually trash this set.
Oh, I got an idea.
Yeah?
I know how we can let this all out. Okay. I let out some of that bridled rage, and so, you know what? I think it's possible. I think we can get through this now.
Yeah, something.
All right. I guess let's begin. We start off this episode with a new character.
Yeah.
A little dwarf lady.
Another girl boss. Because we didn't have enough of them. It's never enough.
We've got, like, what, 3 main girl bosses now with, like, other side girl bosses that appear.
We got the idiotic princess, Empress.
Empress now.
Dwarf lady, which we'll get into why she's idiotic. And then we have... Can we count Lark?
Yeah, Lark is the
actually,
girl boss.
Skian and Lark are both kind of...
Yeah.
There's a lot, pretty much. There's a certain pattern that goes on with this show.
Yes. So this dwarf basically shows up to this, like, pub, bar, inn type thing.
Yeah, shows up, basically the gist of the scene pretty much goes, hey, I'm here looking for someone. Elf goes, get lost. We don't take your kind here.
Yeah.
And that came out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, so there's... I get the Witcher universe has, like, prejudice stuff and all that, but... This is like 1,000 years ago.
So there wasn't as serious prejudice when it came to like dwarves and elves and stuff in the Witcher universe?
No, because humans pretty much hated everyone that wasn't humans. That's how it worked in The Witcher.
Ah.
So I don't know why there's like...
prejudice between these other races as well. But like, and that's the thing too. I remember the guy being like, everyone in here hates your kind, and I have just as much hate, and you being in here isn't gonna... We're all drunk, it's gonna be awful. And then the one thing that annoyed me, right, was that she was like... He was about to close the door on her, and then she came and was like, no, please, let me in. And like, okay, for one thing, she's a little dwarf, she's a girl, woman. Yeah. This is like a tall-ass dwarf guy. Yeah. And she somehow like puts her foot in the door or something. And then
that was weird.
He's like, oh, I can't close the door now. I mean, like, if you hate her kind so much, okay, listen here. I was a missionary, okay? I've knocked on doors, and I know how scary doors can be having them squished on you. Okay? Now, I'm not saying I was very persistent in, like, trying to get in times, like, inside people's homes, but I definitely know when someone's closing a door on you...
You probably don't want your foot there.
You step back. Yeah. You step back, okay? Because...
And also, I'm just looking... What kind of shoes is she wearing? I mean, even protection...
she's not wearing any armor. You're right. She just has that big hammer type thing.
Which
we'll get to that thing, but yeah, so that was the first part of this where it's like, okay, look at this dwarf lady.
Yeah, because she's talking to her hammer.
Yeah, like a psycho.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
And I thought for a second we were going to do like a fantasy thing and that was infused with the soul of someone. No, it isn't. She's just mentally disturbed.
And I feel like also in this one, I think he like drops like 5 F-bombs in a sentence.
Oh, yeah.
They do that all the time. They're like, F you effing F it. Like... I get this is The Witcher. Swearing is in The Witcher, right?
Yeah,
wasn't
but
just
not
games.
like that.
Yeah, like there was this common swear words we used.
There's like a comedic version. I wish I could say it because it sounds exactly the same.
Well, this reminds me of like the South Park episode where they use the F word so many times so like it didn't matter anymore. This is what the show feels like it's doing half the time with just the F-bomb. Like it just...
It's like they saw, Geralt said the word...
Once.
Yeah, he said it at this one point. And they thought that they could do it again and again and again. But this time they're like, no, we just got a cursing elf because... We need a cursing elf because this is The Witcher. We're a mature TV show and we're going to have that.
So that was also something that was like, you know what? You can have swearing in your worlds, okay? I understand that. But like at some point, no one says any swear words, and they're using like old English, like the dreadful time is, and all of a sudden someone's like, F the F this F, or like the last episode also got me where it's like, I gotta go check on my clan. F your clan. It's like they have no not censor isn't the right word. They have no control. Like it just blurts out like a spaz person. They're just like all of a sudden start swearing everywhere.
Compare that to something like House of the Dragon was very reserved.
Yeah.
Up until a certain point when it then really matters. But
exactly, they have no reservations in this show.
Oh yeah, it's so stupid.
So that was also another thing.
Oh, and so let's go on to how the scene continues, shall we?
Yeah. So she comes here, just talking. Lots of close-ups.
Yeah, that's the elf, by the way.
Yeah.
I guess they took notes from Rings of Power. I was like, yeah, all elves.
Short-haired, yeah. Scrawny white
Here's
man.
the thing that's getting me. These are supposed to be elves. Do you get the vibe that they are any different from humans?
No. They're like...
Thank you.
100% honest, I think majority of people would just mistake them as... They just think elves are just people with, like, pointy... Like, that's the only thing that is different from
Now, granted,
from humans.
Witcher elves are a different matter to something like Tolkien elves, but Witcher elves still have this sort of... Let's just say they're not saying the F-bomb every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
They're very well spoken, generally speaking.
They're not scum of the earth, which is what apparently these guys are.
It's definitely scum of the earth. Look, they've even tried so hard to do it. He's dressed in rags.
Oh, he's not a noble, so he must be unclean all the time. Anyway, he gets his door slammed on her, and then she's talking to her hammer, being like, it's okay, we're gonna go look after them now, aren't we? You like this
You
show?
think that he's joking. That is very close to how she speaks to the damn thing.
Yeah, and then so she just takes...
Oh, yeah, she breaks into the establishment, and we start hearing noises.
Crashes, bangs, and okay, my note
and
here...
she's just like humming away, singing a little song,
there's the
and
noise
just having
song
a great...
that always shows up. They always sing, and there's always different music playing over people singing. This happens throughout this episode. People are singing the like Black Rose song, whatever, while there's others like a soundtrack playing on top of it, and it's not in sync. Okay, at first I was like, they like just forget how to mix tracks, but no, they're completely different songs.
Didn't even notice.
Yeah, they do that several times with the Black Rose song.
No.
And so it's like there's a scene in one of the first Spider-Man games.
Oh
where, I think he's fighting a boss or something, and it's a cutscene, I think, or like a quick time type thing.
I'm trying to think of which one you're talking about.
It's the like old one. It was like
Web of Shadows.
No,
Dimensions.
it's the Spider-Man game with Stan Lee who was like narrating it.
Oh, anyway, tangent over. Continue.
And there's a part in it where like he's fighting someone, and then half of because obviously video games have more compressed memory, whatever. And there's just parts where it's just voices then going ooh 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 ah ooh 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 ooh.
Watch that first step, partner. It's a doozy.
Ow, my head! You just have the camera panning across the buildings. This is what this was as well.
Yeah, sort of, because I won't say that, but it's just, it would be very interesting to see that scene.
It'd be very hard to convincingly convey a dwarfen lady of that size taking on a bunch of grown men dwarves with swords and stuff like that. Another annoying thing that I heard was a lot of like, obviously, lots of clamoring, whatever, but from the sounds of it, it sounds like she's stabbing people. There's lots of like, shing. Like,
obviously, you're right. Because she's got a hammer. She's supposed to be bludgeoning people.
There should be like, impact hits and like bones breaking and stuff like that.
What are you doing?
So again, with sound design and stuff, it's like, you guys are just lazy for that one. I'm sorry. But my other confusing thing was, obviously, if she is in this world where dwarves hate elves and vice versa so much, why even bother knocking on the door?
You're right.
Why not just go through the back door? I mean, I know.
Yeah, if your intention is to kill them anyway, why not?
They do it for the sake of story and context for viewers,
I suppose.
But if you're ignoring that and just in the world, well, then she should just take the back door and just like beat everyone up.
I can't believe this show has put me in this position. Willow handles this better by having all the dwarves or little people. They all do magic.
Yeah.
So that way it can work. I can't. It's just ridiculous.
Also, another detail here that I picked up.
Yeah.
This lady, from what I can tell, she's taking down people left, right, and center. She's like slaughtering them.
Yes.
But while she's doing this, she's also singing.
Yeah.
But she's not out of breath either. Like there isn't like a like,
Nathan, I knew this show was bad, but you're making it already worse than the first scene. I was
Like-
like, first scene, this is terrible, but it can't get worse from
Yeah.
here.
No, but like, there's things like if you were directing for this, you'd be like, oh, voice acting, okay? If I was voice acting for the show, I'd be like, okay, what am I doing right now? Oh, I'm running.
Yeah.
Okay, this is me
yeah,
running.
yeah.
You can actually hear my clothes moving and everything. It helps.
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm attacking, you can hear me swinging. You can. I'm out of breath.
Yeah.
And this one, she's just while you're hearing. So obviously, it's a girl boss moment because nothing can, slow her down. Basically.
It's left up to the imagination.
Yeah. Oh, thank bloody goodness.
Yeah, anyway, she, gist of the scene is she kills an elf, but it's not the one she's looking for, and she walks out covered in blood. We'll get the visual for you in just a moment. And there she is, just dead elf right next to her, and she's like, oh, you're not the one, though.
She's just
So it's like, why
slaughtered.
kill this person? Who is this person that she just killed?
She slaughtered everyone. Everyone in there.
Yeah. Oh, we're supposed to also believe that, because this person was thrown out of a window. Supposed to believe she was able to generate enough force with that hammer to hit someone out of a window. Basic
Maybe she's
cause
just-
and effect.
I mean, some may take offense to this. Maybe she's just really heavy.
She doesn't look like it.
She just jumped off some. I don't know. I'm trying to find ways. Again,
Doesn't matter.
I bring this up in my notes several times. I hate how the writers of this story make me try to make up my own headcanon so many times to explain things.
Oh, yes.
And at times I'm like, doesn't make sense. How? And then I start going into little, brainstorms of like how this could happen. And then I'm like, hang on, no, this is lazy writing because you're making me do all the effort.
Yep. And that's
For your mistakes.
That's the thing. They do it for even like basic stuff, like just general context.
Yeah,
Because we don't really get too much on this character or anything about her other than, oh, I'm talking to my hammer and I want to avenge someone.
yeah, and there's no narrator talking about stuff either, is
No.
there? This is just the
Which-
opening scene of this random character doing this random thing.
Yeah, we'll get to the narrator.
The narrator
later.
is
Oh.
very frustrating.
Yeah. But yeah, this little dwarf lady, she had a great time killing all those elves.
Yeah.
Able to do it all, no problem. Nothing at all happened. She's just that skilled. And also, I know Shad's definitely brought this up. She should really have like a longer weapon.
Because if it's the same like big hammer for her,
Mhm.
for us it would be like
Probably about
Tiny.
that.
yeah,
Just-
just
It's,
it's a small little.
we could
weapon.
use that thing as probably just to hammer some nails in.
well, like legit,
It's
well,
not
close
even-
to that size.
Yeah. And there we go, Blood Origin, which
There's the opening.
Oh, yeah, this thing. So we find, I'm just going to call him what he is. The Black Mage Man is Lenny. I'm just calling him by the actor's name.
Lenny.
Because one, that's his name as an actor. And two, I'm not remembering this lunatic's name, all right? It's Lenny from now on. So Lenny and Eridan discuss matters of state. And
Very uncomfortably, mind you.
yeah,
Like,
you got one who's just like laid back. It's all
someone's
good.
very confident in his endowment, and one is not. One is very self-conscious. Wait, I just made a connection
You did?
because then he'd be uncomfortable with all these naked men around him. Yeah, but sorry, spoilers ahead for this.
We'll get there.
He's
we'll
gay.
get there.
That makes, having watched this now going back, I'm like, does that make sense? Is that something they did on purpose, or maybe that actor just in general is like very uncomfortable because he's like, I mean, he's ripped, like he's obviously worked out, but maybe he just
Maybe in a
doesn't feel
good story,
comfortable.
he could be the Eridan that I know. Which
But-
we'll get to Eridan.
This dialogue, man, is atrocious. I've written some out for you.
Go for it. Say it.
I can hear you grinding your teeth. Please don't let me drown you. It would upset the patrons to no end.
You're not exaggerating
That's
the
what
delivery
he-
either. That's how Lenny speaks.
Literally
in this.
sits down and says, I can hear you grinding your teeth.
Yep.
Please don't make me drown you. It would upset the other patrons no end. Again, like they do little things like patrons no end. They like to
Yeah.
go old English
It's
all of a
like they
sudden.
want to do like, oh, we're supposed to do like this fantasy language where it's not modern dialogue, but at the same time they're like, oh, we're gonna go down this
Yeah.
road. So
And then they like switch to like more modern language
they
later,
can't
which,
commit.
when they're like, "What's on your mind?" and then they start talking about stuff. But yeah, that first bit of dialogue sounded really, really forced.
Yep.
Like it felt read. It felt like the script was up in the corner of the ceiling and he
Yeah.
just read it. That's how awful that line was delivered.
Mm-hmm. There's Well, what's going on here is that I think they're discussing well, obviously they're discussing stuff about the Empire.
Yeah.
Eridan mentions that guild stuff. He's bringing up about how
Merchants.
Lenny is trying to. What is it? Is it because
So-
that's the thing? I was so distracted by everything else that
Okay.
I could barely piece
Well,
together
I've
what
got
was
some
going
quotes
on.
here for
Yeah,
you.
go.
Okay, so he says, "What's in your mind?" He says, "The situation in the north and south is festering. What does that mean? Can you actually prove that?" Like okay, yeah. These are my notes here. So like it's like the things in north and south they're festering. It's like okay,
Yes, I'm guessing rebellion, but it's very unclear because I thought this empire had like an iron grip on everything now.
yeah, because a day ago they overthrew everything. Everything was fine,
And then
It
we saw
takes-
like soldiers teleporting around and with giant banners everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, so it's over then.
It takes more than a day for all of a sudden everything to be festering. I mean, obviously, if there was a proper overthrown government, it'd be fine. But we saw last episode, the Empress was like, "I'm the Empress," and everyone's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
we love you, Empress."
Oh, cheering.
So it makes no sense.
Essentially, what we learn is Lenny's solution to every problem is a sledgehammer. Because the problem that Eridan brings up is a delicate problem that you should probably handle with care in
Yeah.
regards to like all political matters.
Yeah,
But Lenny's like, just kill them.
yeah,
You lunatic, you need them.
yeah. A few,
Especially if it's like merchant guilds and stuff like that. You can't, just kill all the leaders of the guild. Okay, but then you piss off all the merchants that are part of that
The
guild,
guild,
and they're
yeah.
not going to help you, and the Empire's going to starve you, retard.
yeah, because they're marketing guilds as well. So like, if
Exactly.
they get affected, then you're going to have any economy. No economy.
Yeah.
Everything falls apart. It's also really frustrating because they were talking about how like, oh, we're running out of food. The few apparently
Oh.
the few places that supply them food,
Yeah.
they never took control of. Everywhere else in the kingdom
Oh, yeah,
is
it's-
fine, but the few critical places that gives them grain are holding out on them. Okay, one, I would be pretty damn sure if I was to overthrow a kingdom.
You'd make sure that that's on board first.
That
That's
is
dealt
going to
with.
happen, okay? That's we're going to be worried about that.
Yeah.
And secondly, if that is a problem, then you get everyone else, the entire rest of the kingdom and their resources
Yep.
to overthrow those last few areas. Because if you've gotten, like, it's just basic, like, strategy.
Yep.
Okay, it's like Monopoly. Okay, if they've got 2 houses left, you got the rest of the board. I'm pretty sure you can get them out dry just by, you know what I mean? Like it
Now-
makes no sense. And they're so he's like, oh crap, man, we're gonna lose our grain, this and that. And he's just like,
And then he's like,
kill
who
him.
cares? Yeah, just kill him.
Like there's
it's
so
fine.
many smarter ways to go about this. Instead, they just do dumb things to try and
Yep.
sound smart. But because our intelligence is greater than the writers and these characters in the story, it's just so frustrating to watch.
Yep. Especially seeing as Eridan is trying to speak some sense here, where he tries to say, look, if you do that, things will get worse, you'll foment rebellions, and we can't crush that many rebellions. Please calm down.
Yeah.
But it's like, who cares? That's
But you
how
know,
it goes.
he says supply lines are disrupted. The merchants are taking advantage, raising their prices of grain. Oh no, inflation! Inflation for the people who are in charge. You're in a bathhouse living luxury. You're basically royalty because you have control over the royalty.
Yeah.
I don't understand why your complaints are like, oh,
They're both
man,
essentially
this-
dictators.
this
at this
grain.
point.
Yeah, and so do what every other dictator does and just make sure you've got enough grain for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
But instead, this guy's like so concerned about these like peasant people, basically.
Yeah, Eridan cares for. I'll say that again for the Witcher fans. Eridan cares about people. Let that sink in. And yeah, I found out that this is actually the Eridan from the game.
The ones you
The one,
know and love.
yeah, that character. Yeah, right there, where my hand is. This guy is this guy. Let that sink in. Because we're coming back to that. There's more to talk about with Eridan.
So yeah, he's worried about inflation in a bathhouse after overthrowing the previous power.
Yeah.
Which is just like, woe is me. Maybe if you'd thought of...
Yeah, did you consider... Was no planning done once you've
No.
taken over?
There was
They
like...
did all the planning to make the coup happen,
Yeah.
but they didn't think about what happens after.
And there was no prep before in terms of actual like strategy in just anything else aside from killing the people who were in power.
Oh, but that's
So-
how that works, Nathan. You just kill people in power, and then everyone's subservient to you.
I mean, it happens, but apparently for them it doesn't happen.
No.
Two, they're worried that it's going to be too expensive for the few people who have rebelled against them. if they've rebelled against you and then they're going to run out of resources, isn't
that
that
a good
good?
thing?
Because they die out
Yeah.
and then they no longer rebel?
Yeah, and then you just got control of everything.
That's what I would think.
Screw it. Who
Apparently
cares?
not. And my third point was if these prices are going to affect everyone, if it was a crucial area in your strategy, why didn't you take care of that first?
Yeah.
It's like it's like elections. Politicians are good at elections, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
You make sure you have the correct states for the votes.
Yeah.
Apparently, they didn't have the correct states here.
conquer.
To conquer.
And they want to, and let's be real, they're also talking about conquering the new world, whatever that means, in the Witcherverse. I have no clue. And they think that they can do that while their kingdoms are possibly in open revolt. Or about to be. Idiots.
And then also they were talking about how they weren't going to get supplies. Like they're cutting them off from dwarven steel. They're like, the merchants are cutting us off. We can't get our supplies that we need. Again, basically you're telling me we've managed to take over every place except for the vital veins of our economy that keeps us going.
Yeah.
And you didn't bother to take over. Like,
Yeah, it keeps...
we'll talk about dwarven steel later as well. That comes up again. But
You know what's weird? That happened so long ago, it kind of feels like... Because we're all going back to where it began.
yeah.
And I'm just like, this feels like 2 episodes
Yeah.
that we've ripped into.
Yeah.
But it's all one
Big
mass
pile.
of crap and
Steaming pile of crap.
I can see the dung heap a mile away. And I have to go into it again.
But also, the dwarven steel thing makes me question, if elves and dwarves hate each other, why are elves using dwarven steel?
Oh, that's a great...
Why? If it's better, then you should probably be like, we can see you're good at one thing. Like, dwarven steel comes up. And it kind of happens in Rings of Power too, where it's like, oh, it's dwarven, therefore it's better. They just say it, and then it doesn't actually affect anything within
It's
the
funny
world.
that you make a Rings of Power comparison, because he does kind of look like Elrond.
Yeah,
Or
you're right.
discount Elrond. I don't know. We then learn that Eridan has sent troops after the Lark and Dogman.
Yeah, and it's funny, because up until now, was it Larry you were calling him?
Lenny.
Lenny was just like, oh, chilling, whatever.
And then he's like, oh, this is important.
And then he's like, oh, those 2 people who
Yeah,
I
you
still...
better capture them. And he's like, yeah, I'm working on capturing them. Yeah, but you better get them. And that's how the conversation goes.
It's like, man, you those 2 stragglers, those 2 people that survived our onslaught, like they're the last of the kind, basically, aren't they? Like,
Yeah,
they've
everyone
slaughtered
else, the clans,
everyone else, and for some weird reason, despite that, they're worried that only 2 stragglers left. Like it's
Oh, yeah, apparently that's
You've
such an
destroyed-
important thing to worry about.
their whole clans. Why are you concerned about 2 people? If your armies have destroyed everyone else that they know and love,
Yeah.
why can't you just? I don't understand the concern, because he freaks out. He sits up and is like, oh no.
And Eridan's like, look, it's being taken care of, but I don't see why you're so worried about this.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a debate, but they both agree with each other. And they've both taken action to get to the same result. So it's a waste of time.
It really is. And it's just funny how, like, one of them's like, oh, crap, my entire kingdom could die of starvation.
Yeah.
And the other one's
And
like,
then the other
oh,
one's
crap,
like,
2 stragglers.
2 guys are just 2 people that are warriors could threaten our whole masses of armies.
Because in the last episode, don't they, like, see the 3
And our
armies?
giant dragon?
Which overthrew everyone else beforehand? Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah.
But there's a part as well in the last episode where they go and see the...
There's like
The
a
Lark
city
and the-
being besieged.
Yeah, and they're like, 3 armies? Oh,
we
that's
can't
impossible.
beat them.
They're like, everyone's just
We
defeated.
gotta walk away. It's like...
Everyone's defeatist in the show. Like, the thing that annoyed me the most in this episode was that everyone's so defeatist. I was like, why is there even a story? For everyone's like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. They're going to defeat me. They're going to find out. Stuff's going to happen. Yeah, he says 2 people can cause an uprising in
Yeah.
the peasants. What the heck?
yeah.
That makes no sense. Why are you concerned about that?
Yeah.
Like, I understand.
But
him-
again, Eridan was concerned enough to send the troops to cut off
Yeah.
the Lark and Dogman.
Yeah.
So what was the big deal of the debate?
if you can overthrow a kingdom, why can't you then manipulate that kingdom?
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's a thing called propaganda.
Oh, yeah. That, it was,
Which
put
this
that into
show
effect?
kind of is. A little bit like propaganda.
Oh, yes, it is. Because
So-
there's scenes that are openly propagandist.
Yeah.
Which
so
we'll
I don't
get
understand why
to.
they can't just, do that to the people that are uprising.
You'd think.
Yeah. Or be like, hey, I have a dragon, mess with me, and you're going to get turned to dust blood.
Oh. Hang on a second.
Hmm?
We're idiots. Because that city being sieged wasn't in the first episode. It's all starting to blend together. It's the next damn scene.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, so,
Also, he says something about, like, bound together by destiny.
Oh,
Those
yeah,
other
but
characters-
how does that happen? They met each other by happenstance.
Again, I feel like this is my brain making up canon. What happened is there was a prophecy, and he knows he's going to get overthrown by this group of people who are stragglers from whatever and ever.
Yeah.
It would make sense if someone actually told any of us that. But instead, he just like says it, doesn't tell anyone that he knows it. But like because he doesn't tell anyone, me as a viewer doesn't think that there is anything. He's just making this stuff up.
Yeah, it's so confusing, isn't it? Because I mean, a prophecy would help, but then it goes into the question of, okay, who made the prophecy?
Yeah.
Why does it concern this common mage? Yeah, because that's what he is.
Yeah.
So what are the odds of that even happening?
I don't know.
It's just, all of it is so... You have to take these leaps to try and accept what is happening. But the leaps you take force you into even more stupid scenarios.
It is. Because like he says, bound together by destiny, a story beyond our control.
How? Well, here's the problem. They kind of have created this problem for themselves by printing that many damn wanted posters. So you've made everyone know these people are a thing, and if those who hate the Empire can go,
That's what happens in this episode!
maybe we could rally around these two really wanted people, because the Empire really wants them badly.
Yeah.
And that happens! As Nathan's put.
Oh, sorry, you're building up to it, but like I just realized that as you were saying it, I was like, that happens in this episode.
Yeah.
So basically, Lenny here is just worried about the control of the story. Control the story, control the world.
He's given the our heroes the opportunity to take control of from him.
Yeah. Mate, if you knew that, then why didn't you take control beforehand?
Why
He's
don't
like,
you turn them into nobodies? No one cares.
or like if
And
he's,
then that's it.
he's going on about story and destiny and whatever, it's like, bro, if you believe so much in that, why aren't you using that yourself? Instead, he's just sitting there doing whatevs.
Yeah, just
he's
having
like,
a
oh,
bath.
it's so frustrating.
It's idiotic.
And again, this is the thing he is worried about most, these two stragglers who have story and destiny and prophecy and whatever, when the other guy's just like, well, crap, I won't have any grain soon. It's just like...
Yeah, again, I'll say it for the Witcher fans. Eridan is the reasonable one. How?
Okay, so
All right,
now
look,
they're
a band
walking...
of idiots, and there's the city we spoke about earlier. Now, where do we begin with this damn city? It's, okay.
I think you do the breakdown of the city, and
All
then
right.
I'll talk about the stupidity in the story.
Number one, this city is built in a middle of a desolate mud land with no fields, no forests, no nothing. So how is the city able to stand there? How is it able to be sustained? How are the people there able to be fed? No, it doesn't make any sense at all. And we don't know how the city is really being raised because they fail to take into account that if you light a trebuchet on fire, it doesn't really burn everything else. And then it's also, I was confused as to why is the army just there and just staying, outside the city walls? Wouldn't they be attacking the city and trying to, I don't know, get over the walls and get inside? You have that many. Why don't you use them?
Instead, we get this shot, and adventurers here say, "That's Bryle. They haven't been defeated in 1,000 years. Thank you for that lazy exposition.
I know.
I appreciate it. As a viewer now, I understand.
Yeah.
This is important because they haven't been, taken over in 1,000 years.
Yep.
And for human, that long time, 1,000 years. Sorry, brain cell come back. Ugh. Sorry, I lost a few dirt just thinking about that.
I thought you were trying to be one of the characters.
And then Dog Clan guy says, F me, 3 armies united? They don't stand a chance. It's a massacre.
These 3 are the most threatening thing to this empire right now.
Yeah,
These 3.
That's my next point of like, all right, and the other side we have is, again, the juxtaposition from this. They're both so mortally afraid of each other. They're like, these guys are like, 3 armies, we can't do this.
Yep.
And everyone's like, 3 people, we can't do this.
And here's the thing. One of those sides can easily achieve what they want. The other side cannot.
Yeah, impossibly. But guess what? That side that's impossible is going to be the one that accomplishes it in this story.
Yep. Point is, they came here to find some sellswords, and as you can see, that mission is a waste of time.
Yeah, they say, okay, so now they're like, we need more people. Doable with the right coin. Well, lady, you burnt down the tent with all your goods. The other chick is a bard, and the guy only has a necklace with some value. How are you expecting to pay for an army
of sellswords? And here's the thing, with sellswords, you better keep the coin coming.
Yeah. Like it's just like money. It's like you need to give them food, shelter, like shifts, breaks, all sorts of things.
Yeah, lots of logistical things they just don't take into account.
Like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense how they expect to pay for an army when they need to fight against 3 other armies.
Yep.
Logic. I guess they can't do math.
No.
I guess these writers cannot do math.
Here's the thing, though, that's getting me. This is like one really short scene, and already there's so much.
So much you can pick out. So much.
So I almost neglected to mention, because of like where their city is also situated, how are any of the structures in that city not collapsing?
I don't know. 100%. Like this setting makes
look at it. That looks
no
all muddy.
sense. It is just mud. And why would you build a kingdom on mud? You've got... Why not? Okay.
You've got like numerous hills and mountains.
Hills
right
and
there.
mountains. It would make more sense to build a castle on a hill so you have the high ground.
Yep.
Instead you're in a valley on dirt.
And the ground does not look stable at all to hold up all those really, really heavy walls. And then we end up in this really tiny town.
It's a wonderful
and
town.
their plan is to... There's already so much to say here. To rob a bank!
Bank
No horses, no carts, nothing. They're just gonna, carry it out? What a joke.
You're right. I actually didn't think about that. If you rob a bank, you need a way to carry all that money.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You can't look, there's a cart there. They'll just steal that one. No, you need multiple carts if you're going to take that much money for sellswords. Anyway, it's just...
Oh.
By the way, there was a weird thing that happened later on in the scene. Maybe we'll show it to the audience. But the lark talks, but the side of her mouth does not move. She becomes a ventriloquist for a bit.
There's lots of ADR in these parts. I feel like they're like, all right, look good. All right, later we'll just add in scripts or like whatever. So this bank here, they say before, we've got to hit a small bank. Okay, and I'm guessing in my head, small bank wouldn't have enough money in stock to supply an army.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have enough maybe for like 10 sellswords.
Like maybe some mercenaries or something, but not like proper sellsword like army things that you want to go up against the other armies.
Which you would need.
And then the sword master's like, we should stay off the roads. When there aren't any roads.
Yeah.
When they're walking up the hills and mountains.
Yeah.
And then guess what? There are roads here and they're on the roads.
Can I just mention...
And they walk into the bank from the road.
Yep. We also have to mention how pathetic this little town is. I mean, this is supposed to constitute a town. This visual is really, really stupid because there's only, 6 buildings?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like six, and then 3?
This doesn't
3 2-stories.
Yep.
This does not constitute a thriving community enough to have a bank
that big. Which, by the way, that big structure at the back, that's the bank.
That's a bank.
It's covered in metal. It's very well protected.
I think
apparently,
the bank would cost more than the money inside it.
Exactly.
Because it's got massive high ceilings.
Yep. And that town can't pay for that.
No.
And they wouldn't generate enough income for that.
No, and it's not thriving. There aren't any people on set either.
Yeah.
It's not a bustling town. It's empty. Oh, the narrator. The narrator's something really annoying.
Yeah, tell them.
The 3 marched on, each knowing that this raid could put their quest for vengeance in peril. Learn to write and read. Not only is this sentence way too overcrowded with, so they marched on, each knowing that this raid could put their quest of vengeance, this dangerous thing that they could be trying to do, could be dangerous, in peril.
Yep.
So they're just doing double negatives now. Like,
Oh.
wait, no,
The thing is,
what they're saying is this dangerous quest of vengeance could be in peril, implying that they could stop this, which means it would no longer be a dangerous mission. Like, they're just trying to like up the ante a bit more here, but it's like you already upped it, and now you're trying to up it like two negatives now, turning into a positive. Or was it vice versa? 2 negatives make a positive. Yeah, that's a math thing.
okay, look, that's too big brain for these people.
Yeah.
The point is, mission dangerous. We need to rob bank.
Yeah, so I got more quotes from them.
Oh, more?
Without coin, they were no more than specks of dust against the Empire.
This narrator is, I don't quite know the word because it would get censored and I'd kind of want the audience to hear it.
No, it's okay.
Anyway, we go into the bank and it's empty. Now, Nathan, you noticed something. It's an empty bank, all right? That's what we got here. They're asking where's the coin and all that. Now, we've got a banker here.
A dwarven banker.
Doing bookkeeping.
I thought elves hated dwarves. Why is he a banker for them?
Let's just get to the more
pressing
thing, which is, what is he bookkeeping?
Because he says to them, they basically walk up to him like, hey, we're heisting this bank, give us all you can. Yeah. And he's just like, nothing's left, mate. It's all gone. We got nothing in here. And my question is, what are you bookkeeping? Everything's 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. But he's writing away being like, okay, carry the 1, bring in the 2, okay? And then the Johnsons, they have their nice home deposit there. It's all right, good. No one's using the bank. Why are you employed?
Why are you still here?
The bank's open maybe because he wants like some deposit, and he's like, oh yay, customers, finally I can have interest. And they ask to rob the bank, and he's just like, but what are you writing down? It's just dumb.
There's also
stuff like
a question of, I would ask if I was robbing this bank and there was nothing in there, I would be like, what's in the sack?
True. He's got something right
What's
there.
in there, huh?
Is
that money?
My personal savings, thank you very much.
So, all right, give them.
Not enough for the swords they want and need, though.
It's a start, I suppose. Just take it. I mean, you're already committing to robbing a place.
You've got nothing else left for you anyways.
But the dwarf then says something along the lines of, oh, the most valuable thing in here now is you 3.
Yeah.
And there's just like 3 what? There posters of them in the bank. Which further brings up the point. If you don't want rebellion to ferment and have these 3 propped up as the leaders, stop putting the posters everywhere! Why? And also, their bounty is really tiny. They're only worth 1,000 coin each. Yeah, that's right, people. We'll show the posters later. But the 3 people that Lenny is most concerned about, they're only worth that much. The reward should be like tens of thousands, maybe even more. You're called the Golden Empire.
So here are the posters.
Wait, whoa. There's a cock on his head.
Yeah. 2 things. One, that's a very cartoony. Like the art here is very modern, I would say.
Yep.
Second of all, why does he get the penis on his head, and she doesn't even get a mustache or anything? Like, again, these are the writers and creators just subconsciously putting her on the pedestal.
Yeah.
You can't offend her. You can't desecrate her image at all. But him, oh man, that white man, he's a dick.
It's funny, I didn't even notice that on the first point because, again, I was more focused on how perfect the images looked.
Yeah. Like,
this is really impressive.
For what, a medieval fantasy period piece. Anyways, then they realize suddenly there's like a bunch of army men coming to get them. Oh
yeah, they're just this one person just is guiding them towards the banking area. We don't know. Apparently, this person saw them enter the town, so maybe it was worth going around instead of just going straight down the middle towards the bank. Huh? Maybe.
I think the swordmaster says, "We've been spotted." Well, yeah, you waltzed down the street.
Hang on a second.
Broad daylight. They didn't even sneak in.
Nathan.
Yeah?
Why is there a forest there?
They came from the forest.
No, but there was a town.
Yeah.
The town was supposed to... Town's the main entrance.
Mm-hmm.
It was facing that part, the center. They walked down it, remember?
Yeah.
Why are they coming through the forest
If they were following them,
when they could have gone through the town?
it would make more sense because them walking down like this would imply that they're coming from the forest or like the entryway of the town.
The thing is, is this the front entrance? I can't tell. Are there two entrances to this bank?
No, there's only one. They said themselves. There's only one.
Then
One
why
way in,
is the
one out.
entrance facing the town? Maybe we should go back and have a look at the geography of the town. Okay. Entrance there.
Trees there.
Yeah, but where's the town then? Because I swear the previous visual we had.
True. They were. Oh my gosh, you're right. Because they were meant to be where they're standing right now. Should be buildings.
Yeah. See? Look, that's the main entrance. There's buildings there. Next shot, no buildings.
Like okay,
when the soldiers show up.
Buildings are like over this way or whatever. But at the same time, that means that they walked around.
All right, so they got there. They get inside, and then they look through the main entrance, and the town's gone. It's just gone. The direction they came from.
The geography of this place is messed up.
Yep.
No, that's also super dumb. Again, if you just pause this show, you can
find so much
an eyesore
so quickly.
It's an eyesore. Anyway, so the guards start coming in. She's like, "Get behind me, cover my flanks or whatever."
Oh, this was so stupid because they're acting as though their little formation would be able to do anything.
Yeah. Look, Shad isn't here, but I can tell you, having edited and watched fight scene autopsies, this was an awful, awful fight scene. Maybe not as bad as Galadriel's one in Rings of Power when she's training with the other people. Like that's pretty up there because there were a lot of spins and turns and her being like. But this one was still pretty dumb in terms of like their tactics and trying to look cool.
Yeah.
And the Lark is always like, "I'm so ooh," and then something happens. She's like, "Ah!"
Yeah. And by the
then
way,
she switches and goes, "Hua, hua." Like, you think I'm exaggerating? I am not. This is how she acts.
There's also this issue. This character says, "Cover my flanks." What does Lark do? I'm gonna go right in the middle of them and point with my knives instead of getting a shield. Oh, so dense and just so many moments. So much dialogue.
I needed that. Yeah, it's annoying too. The Lark uses these throwing daggers so often where she's been in what, two battle scenarios now?
Yeah,
she should be able to use swords and shields and stuff. It would make more sense.
You'd think. But there's also a scene where she picks up a dagger off the dwarf's desk.
Yeah.
And uses that.
Yeah, instead
and I'm just thinking, where's your other weapons?
Yeah. It is so dumb.
Forgot to mention the little dwarf man went down a hatch.
He went down a hatch.
Now, the thing is...
And disappeared. We'd never see him again.
The thing is, remember that hatch, and remember the dwarf escaped through that. Because instead of our team trying to go to the hatch and to, open it and leave because an army's coming to get you, they're like, yeah, we gotta fight.
Yeah, I guess there's no other way.
Yeah, they didn't even check that you could get through. Because how's the dwarf gonna lock the hatch? It's a hatch that goes down like that, okay?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how.
But we're gonna get back to that hatch.
Okay, so they get these little shields from the walls of the bank, and then she just throws the Lark. She throws a single dagger. That's her offense.
Let's see if we can get that. That's their formation, people.
That's the defense. That's how they're doing it.
Yeah, that's how they're gonna do it.
That's them covering her flanks.
Now, you would think that an intelligent force of enemies would flood in, surround them, kill them. No. Oh, no. That would make sense.
And the show does not. Instead, we come in waves of 3.
Yep. Just
3 or 4.
They come in here and there.
Also,
and they keep doing it too.
These men are armored. They're also big, burly, strong men.
Yep.
And somehow these... Okay, the one guy with an axe, sure, maybe. But even then, he has no armor. You can take more risks in armor and probably get him damaged.
Yeah, that's true.
But these other two, they don't even take barely any hits for ages.
Yep.
And also, there's lots of... What's it called when you use sword against sword?
Lots of...
Bind. They
static
got
binds, I believe
so
Shad
many
calls them.
static binds.
Yep.
It's frustrating.
We got to show. There's like one very egregious one like that's happened, and I'm hoping we can get that visual of. There's one. That goes on for a very long time. And we see often that armor does not work. Right there, didn't work, even though this is like scale mail. That'll do something. Here.
She gets a little...
Now, she gets cut, but look how quickly she recovers. It's like it didn't happen.
Boom. Like,
she's fine. It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where they just get stabbed in the face and the neck, boom, dead.
Yeah, that's over.
These guys have massive swords. They can just do the same thing to them.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, audience. These guys also get cut in the same place as our main character. That was one of our main characters did, and they're just done, even though they're wearing armor. Oh, it's so stupid. Like, why have them wear armor if you're not going to even have it mean anything? It's really getting tiresome. And let's not forget, like, the amount of quick cutting. Oh, my word.
Yeah, this fight scene's really jarring. Gave me a headache.
Can't see anything.
It's just all shaky cam.
Like, they're all over-swinging. They're all getting pushed around. I don't believe that any of these guys would be proper military.
No, they all act like
morons.
Idiots. Like, my comments here is there's no distance with the swords. You know, when you have a sword, you have distance because you got range with that.
No,
they're
they all
always
get
like
really close.
face to face so that the main characters can use little daggers and stab, and the guys are like, oh, no, I
Also,
can't
they're
do
very
anything.
accommodating in allowing them. I believe there was one moment where... What's her name? I think it's Michelle Yeoh's character.
Yeah.
She's, like, in a bind with someone. She's just holding it for a while. The guy's just going, looking, growling and all that. And she's just holding it there. And she's having, like, dialogue with one of the other characters. It's like as if nothing's going on. Yeah, basically tells, while that is happening, what it was, the dialogue was telling Lark to get back into formation.
Yeah.
Even though all three of them broke formation and lost their shields.
And the thing that annoyed me the most about this, right, was the Lark managed to kill so many armored guards.
Yep.
Who had swords and shields.
Yep.
She killed them with a small dagger. She was wearing a cloak. Just a cloak.
Yep.
It's not realistic in any sense of the
Again,
word.
this all could have been avoided if they went to the hatch.
Yeah, and then there's times where the swordmaster gets stabbed in the back, like we saw, and she gets no damage. She stabs the guy in the face, and he doesn't. He doesn't do anything with his weapon. He's just like, "Oh, I've been wounded. I'm dead now."
It's over. Not even gonna try. It's just.
And there's parts. Right, there is a part where she has the sword, and she like blocks the other sword with her major sword, and then doesn't. You keep using her sword. She gets her dagger, and then just starts using the dagger instead. But she has a sword.
And
Use the sword!
And the enemy doesn't even take into consideration that, oh yeah, this person's been using knives and has been taking out my comrades. Maybe I should be careful.
Yes.
Maybe I should use my helmet to, I don't know, turn my head this way.
Yeah, and then the part that's before with the bind, the guy leaning on, he's just too petrified. He's like, watch Shad's videos on stack binds. You can just go, boop.
Yep.
Just
It's really that easy.
Done. So annoying. And it just, again, the whole fight scene's just her doing that, the dog clan guy using his axe, like, to actually do some somewhat damage. Doesn't make sense
the one weapon that actually might hurt them.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would get through the armor, but it would definitely do some damage. Somehow he performs the worst in the fight.
Yeah. And the Lark is just throwing these daggers going, choo, 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 choo.
And here's the thing.
Doesn't miss.
One miss. Yeah, not one miss. She's just that perfect. And throwing daggers is harder to aim and to get in exactly where you want it to be. So what I mean, but elves have keen eyes. That's not.
This isn't token.
No, that's not. It's not.
And then these other guys run in. They stare.
Yeah.
And they walk back out.
We got to talk about that because I want to get up the visual because it's a really funny visual. Now, these morons, these are the three that come in. Now, we're going to go back just a little bit. They flip the table over for cover. Why on earth you have enemies wielding melee weapons coming at you? Why would you lock yourself into one position behind a table? This isn't like gunfights or anything like that where you need cover. What are you doing? So the troops come in, and then they're just like, oh, there's a table. We can't get them. It's like, yes, you can. You can get them. Why are you just standing there? And they're just like not doing anything. They walk out, and it's like, oh, I guess the fight's over. But we're locked in here now. What do you got to say about this table scene, man? When they hide behind a table like absolute morons. Yeah, because that's going to help you.
It's so dumb.
What's more baffling? The fact that they hide behind the table? Or the fact that 3 guys are like, oh, they're behind the table. We got to go. We can't get them. I don't get it. What was the logic here with like the whole table thing? Did they really think that...
It was just something that probably the stunt co-person was just like, oh, we have a table. Usually in fights, that gets turned over at some point. Like, it just feels like a dumb thing. They're like, okay, what else can we do in this scene?
Yeah.
There's a table. Let's flip it.
Yeah, the troops don't swarm. They walk away, and they close the bank doors.
Yeah.
Now, why would they close the bank doors, you may ask, dear viewer? What's the plan here?
Starve them out.
Starve them out. That would be a reasonable one.
Yeah.
Maybe keep them locked in there, get some more troops, and then, swarm them properly. Okay? You've got them. They're imprisoned now.
They're basically, they're in a money prison.
Yeah, they're stuck.
There's only one way in and out.
But Nathan, would you like to tell the audience, the naive audience, what these Muppets do?
Instead, oh, we don't get a good shot. Oh, yeah, hold on. Instead, they light a bank on fire.
From the outside.
A metal fortress, completely encased in metal. They basically try to light on fire a fireproof safe. I have 2 questions here, especially later, when there are flames coming from the ceiling. Oh, we've gone too far.
Yeah.
Like you can see here, embers at the top here.
Yeah.
Like there's flames encasing them, basically.
And this building was very tall, as we showed you.
Very tall, but everything's made of metal and stone. There is nothing flammable in here. The guards were wearing a type of chainmail. There's nothing like, okay, sure, you get some sort of fuel, oil, something of some sort
still on the
flammable,
outside.
but nothing else will catch a light because nothing else is flammable.
Yep. But yeah, the fire just gets inside the bank somehow. And they eventually then go to use the hatch. Now, the thing is, this hatch is very important. Because somehow that little dwarf man was able to lock the hatch from the outside when he's inside.
So he went inside the hatch.
Yeah.
And somehow magically managed to lock onto it from the outside.
Yeah, because there's like a little dwarven lock on the damn thing.
Like a literal lock. Which questions how that lock appear there.
Yeah.
And secondly, look, if it's a second exit, sure, maybe. But if it was like a safety hole or whatever, if you lock yourself in there, you're screwed. You're done. You're not getting out. There's no way to escape.
Yeah. Luckily, it's a hatch that leads into a tunnel, and the tunnel leads
we
you to
don't
get
actually
out.
know where it leads.
Actually, that's
Again,
fair.
you're making stuff up that doesn't exist
But
here.
that's the thing. They get out of here. That's why we have to go with tunnel.
Tunnel, I assume, somehow. But then you would think that people would follow them from, like, if you know that, okay, if you're sieging them, you'd be like, are there any other exit ways?
Yeah.
And if they're like, yeah, down by the creek, there's a tunnel that, like, leads to there.
And it's like, oh, okay, block it.
Yeah. Block it. Do that. Be smart. But no, instead they just completely disregard that, burn down the bank. And there's this annoying thing that you mentioned when we were watching this, that it's made of dwarven steel.
Yeah, the lock
again.
is dwarven steel.
She's like, she can't lift it because it's dwarven steel, apparently.
And we can't destroy it because
it's dwarven steel.
Yeah.
And then our swordmaster lady says, that's okay, I have a dwarven steel blade. That'll break the dwarven steel. My dwarven steel blade. It's like saying, oh no, my hand, I can't get through. That's okay, I'll use my hand to get through. You see how they're made of the same substance? And like, sure, maybe if you really went at it for ages and ages, maybe you'd wear it down. But it's the same with any other metal material. Like if you have the same quality of materials, they're just gonna like, ching!
Yeah.
It takes ages for them to wear down. Just because, like, that was like when I knew, I was like, okay, these writers have goldfish brain. Because they're like, okay, we need a really strong door. Okay, what's the strongest door we have? Dwarven steel. All right. Oh, The door's really strong. What can we use to break it?
Oh, what was
door
steel?
steel. Oh, it doesn't work like that.
You can tell that they have never had to
Think
destroy
logically in
No,
their life
yeah, I
ever.
know.
They've never been in a situation where they've gone. Like, these are people. I mean, this is gonna be kind of. I'm sorry if some of them have some logic and they just got trapped in this by contract or whatever. But it's just stupid. They're stupid.
Look, the thing is, that's big brain thinking right there. Look, I have steel thing. Me hit other steel thing. Steel thing
you're
break.
hitting rocks together, but they're the same rock, and you just. I can make so many more jokes.
It's just the.
And before that, too, the last she goes up to the doors and she sees the flames, and then she goes, ah! And then runs back, like that was going to do anything. Now it's not the only dumb thing she does in this episode, because the ending is
so much.
Whew, is stupid. But
we weren't joking when we really needed to. That's the thing. Part of me wants to go back out there and hit them. We find ourselves back in the Empress's palace, and she's walking around. And it's an unassuming scene. Nothing's going on, really. And then, oh, look! Someone's come to assassinate her. It's a person that just appears out of nowhere.
Just around the corner.
Just around the corner. It's like, my family is starving.
Basically. And it's so... I feel like now I don't have the words to describe how I feel. Just look at my face. Look at the wrinkles on my face. Look at the weight gain on my chin, okay? It shows like this who have done this to me. The impact on stress, okay? This is just a TV show. It shouldn't do this much to a human being, but somehow it manages to make me go this close to mental.
Yeah. It's really testing my just ability to tolerate.
Yeah, so this random guy shows up, goes to kill her, and then this other guy uses his powers to kill that guy.
This guy's body. But I feel like we missed something as well. That's the thing. We keep saying stuff, but then it's like, there's other stupid things that happened beforehand. While she was walking down the corridor, I just looked at my notes. The narrator said she is alone and powerless.
Yeah.
She is an empress! Even if she's a puppet, her title gives her power. How do you do that constantly? And also, this assassin man should have been stopped by like an army of bodyguards. Where are the bodyguards?
There's no one. Like, if you look at down the hallway...
Yeah, there's nothing there. Look, no one.
There's
no one
two servants bowing. She should have like an escort of...
Escort.
Escort of guards.
Yeah.
And like later they're like, oh, I guess you need a bodyguard. Now you think that?
Really? I swear, no planning went into this empire at all.
Like, I know they want her dead.
Yeah.
But still, you got to make it look like an accident.
Exactly. And we learn that this guy is just some random kitchen hand, which begs the question, how is a random kitchen hand not in the kitchen? How did he end up in the same hallway as the Empress? How? How's that happen?
Also, you'd think that a kitchen hand would get good pay from, royalty.
Yeah.
And not be complaining about having any, like...
How do you even get into that position if you're not really good at your job?
Or you're loyal to the kingdom. Like, I want you to serve the Empress. Also, this has been like, 1 or 2 days of them overthrowing the kingdom. How have they mismanaged so many materials so quickly? Everyone's going hungry. Everyone's running out of resources. It has been 2 days.
Yeah.
And you haven't had any feasts. You haven't had any big celebrations or whatever. You've, if anything, done population control and killing a bunch of people as well. And yet somehow you've mismanaged your grain and resources just in general.
I mean, that's the thing. They can't even get the basics right about protect your Empress.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's like easy. Day 1 of creating an empire. Have a group of bodyguards.
So I want to read some of my notes because, they're always fun to read.
Yeah.
My first question is whether or not she's really this intelligent, saying she's alone and powerless, because everything previously we've seen has not been the case.
Yeah.
Also, you are Empress, you have power, you could have killed them or captured them, and like the people that you're like, oh no, they're going to take control. Like, she knows that she's being a pawn or whatever. You're Empress, find a reason.
Yep.
You're Empress. You don't need a reason. You can just be like, those two, I can tell they're conniving against me. do some evidence research. You'll find some evidence. Boom. You got them. Easy. Done.
Yep, and all you'd have to do is just get a couple of standard soldiers and spies.
Yeah.
Because you're the Empress and you have a title. I just realized as well, how is this spindly girl able to hold up a knife right at her eye
Like, I feel
for so long?
Let's
we
try and-
need to get the visual.
Try and show that clip. So he comes around.
And right here. And this lasts for a while, and he doesn't do
He's
anything.
like, oh, she's so strong for an Empress. Ah.
Here's the thing. Here's what you do. Holding it like that. Done. Killed. Over.
Or you know what?
Or you
Bring it down.
bring down.
Jab, 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 jab.
Yep. You do that.
So many different ways.
You
But
can
he
do
goes
so many.
like that. She uses her like. Look, women. Actually, no. I'm going to be more specific. She is clearly. You've seen her. She's very petite.
Yep.
She's not very strong compared to what would be another grown man, a kitchen hand, who probably handles flour, meat,
Yep.
like weight lifts basically every day
Yep.
because they're cooking for the entire like royalty or whatever.
Yep.
Whoever else is in the castle.
Yep.
Obviously very strong. I don't understand. It makes no sense.
No, doesn't.
No sense.
It just keeps on happening. That's the thing. We're not exaggerating when we see every scene has so much stuff. And honestly, Nathan, I don't even think we're going to be able to find it all.
No.
It's not possible.
No.
This is layers of idiocy just mounted on top of each other. I don't think there's a frame in this show that makes sense. I might actually go that far. Maybe when there's someone just standing in a hallway. But even then, at times, it's like, all right, what hallway are they standing with? Oh, there's that.
Yeah,
hallway
there's
right
that
there.
issue. I mean, there's the set issue. We don't even talk about the set because the story is just so.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyways, so they're talking about
The aftermath has occurred, and
like-
they talk about the kitchen hand and explain a bunch of stuff.
It's
and
so funny. They're like, "You need a bodyguard." And
yeah,
she
everyone's like,
look-
you need a bodyguard. Yeah.
She looks over and she's like, "You know what happened to my last bodyguard? I did him, and he got banished." Like she made this face of like, "Oh, who's my next victim? Fresh meat."
Yeah,
Like, it gives me creepy eyes all the time.
But here's the thing: when Eridan suggests this idea of bodyguards, she initially rejects the notion of their Eridan's bodyguards, which is skilled warriors. Instead, she chooses the sorcerer that saved her. Now, this sorcerer is an amateur. But yeah, let's just go with the amateur sorcerer. You know, the guy who's just acted on instinct rather than skill.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The reason why though is because she's scared any of their bodyguards are going to kill her.
Yeah,
But
the
you know
thing
what?
is-
That's very telling to them. They're like, "Uh-oh,
Yeah.
she doesn't trust us.
Yeah.
We need to end her sooner before
Yeah.
she does something because she's obviously a bit skeptical of what we will do to her."
Yep.
And
then the plans would be put in motion. Yeah, we should probably get rid of her and find the replacement.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
Like,
Now, we got to show the image of this sorcerer. Because there's something we have to discuss. Now, I've played the Witcher games, all three of them. I've read only the first book, but I know the gist of what happens in them. This sorcerer, this random sorcerer, is Avalock from The Witcher 3. He's another of the Unel elves, which are taller than these elves. They have different body structure, different strength. They're supposed to be different, well. And for some reason, we have Witcher 3 elves, two really important characters here, Eridan and Avalock, and they look like that. And here's the worst thing, he is a wimp! Avalock, just so you know, Nathan, is a stoic. He's really cold. He's really calculating, and he can be really cruel, but also he acts generally on the greater good for his people and all stuff like that. That's who Avalock is.
that's a cool character. I'd like that character.
Yeah, it sounds really cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, instead we got this being Avalock.
Yeah, who when he finds out he's going to get killed, he's like, "No, I'm going to die."
And
Oh,
Avalock
no,
is a guy
I'm
that-
going to die.
Avalock's a guy who walks into danger all the time, at least the one I know.
Yeah,
So the
guy
fact
does
that
not.
they even use the same name, unless people are like, oh man, it's just it's different character, same name.
Well,
I mean,
what you think that
that's
like
the
that
thing.
Avalock,
If you're- if you're gonna use the name, guess what comes along with that?
yeah. And
Same
if,
with Eridan.
if he is named, if your guy
Yeah.
is named after this guy,
Yeah.
you would think this guy would have somewhat characteristics that guy would want to be named after. Like,
you think.
You name people or like children after awesome people in history.
Yeah, like
this guy,
Arthur's a common name.
Yeah.
Why do we use the name Arthur to this day?
Because King Arthur.
Yeah. Why do we use the name like John as well? King John.
Yeah.
Even though there's King Johns that weren't very good.
But still, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
then there's like all the Henry clones as well. All those names
doesn't make sense to name your child after this guy.
Yeah.
Which is
maybe he'll change and get better. Well, we're off to a horrible start with him. And the thing that gets me is like he's supposed to be part of an elven race and Eridan as well, where in the games people thought they were wraiths. They didn't even believe they were elves.
Wow.
That was like a prevailing thing for a long time. That's like the common thing.
Look at that.
There's just no uniqueness to any of them.
Terrified face.
Yep.
He is mortified.
I'm going to get responsibility and become a bodyguard? What?
And she's just like, yes, give it to me.
Yeah.
She just this is Empress, and she's like, got her legs up. She's all like scared and worried, like a little girl. Like, you're Empress here. Act like it.
Yeah, especially in front of your perceived enemies that the narrator has told us are your enemies the whole time.
Yeah.
Maybe try and portray some strength.
Apparently not.
Oh, it's so bad.
Anyways.
Oh, so it turns out our three morons are being hunted by a scarred elf.
Another moron, mind you.
And we had this delivered to us not through the visual of the guy holding up one of the wanted posters. No, we had to be told by the narrator. Because we're dum-dums. We don't know what's going on screen.
Apparently not.
Visual storytelling? Oh, what's that? They really think that the narration like reveals important stuff.
It
and
doesn't.
that they can't do it in any other way. It never... Have you noticed it never reveals like the important context stuff? But it always reveals the pointless visuals by just describing it.
Or like the overly overt thing that everyone should get.
Yeah.
Like it spoon feeds
time.
you things that I could have fed myself, but will completely ignore things that I have questions about. So we're on the scene now where they need to go get herbs for her.
Yeah, because Skian was running about and fighting. This is the Asian lady, by the way. She was fine after being stabbed, but now all of a sudden it's gotten to her. It's like, oh no, I can't do anything. I gotta rest here for a bit. Can you make a choice, please? Either she's been mortally wounded and she's on the verge of death and she can't walk at all, or it's the other one.
Yeah.
And they couldn't decide.
No, they kept going back and forth.
Yeah.
Anyways, so a Dog Clan guy, he goes out to find herbs.
And then Lark eventually does the same.
She convinces Lark, go. It will be faster with two. Like, they don't even trust this guy to go find a plant. Like, it's so degrading.
I thought she was trying to say, leave me.
Yeah. No, she was saying, go help him. He needs help. Like, the amount of times that they have discussions together, and they're always just like, oh man, that Dog Clan guy is such an idiot.
Yeah.
Where actually he's very capable and, like, one of the most sensible characters in the show.
We'll get there.
In terms of sensible.
Yeah. I mean, you might be right, but it's hard to call anything sensible in this show.
Yeah, well, the most sensible is what I'm trying to say when you're trying to compare sensibility. Anyways, and I knew once she was like, go, leave, the other guy's going to show up and be with her, and then it's going to be like,
Which, again, it's hard because I want to jump ahead at times.
Yeah.
Because there's stupid stuff that comes later, but we just got to wait.
We just got to wait.
Take them through this together.
Anyways, back to the Queen.
Yeah, back
Empress.
to the air-headed Empress.
She has called Avalock here, and it's so annoying where she just like gestures him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I see you've got a history on the dwarven.
Yeah, because like you like books, me too. We're alike now.
The thing that annoyed me most was that like it wasn't even. I mean, we've got a million books here, but it wasn't even being like, yes, look, you have Shadow of the Conqueror here behind Marcus. Wonderful. No, instead he's like, yes, I see. Like he doesn't even point or look at any books. He just walks in, looking at her the whole time, and then says, yes, I see this book here, while not breaking eye contact. Like, again, it's just little things like that where, like, as a human being, if I saw this in real life, I'd be like, what's wrong with you? You're not doing something that's normal.
So the thing is, now, with this scene, I gotta ask, because Nathan is a non-Witcher player. How does this guy come across?
He's the biggest wimp.
Avalock was the kind of guy, he would walk into a room and, like, he wouldn't give a damn about anything.
Yeah.
Like, he was really just had a presence about him. I can't really describe the right words, but
No, this guy
he had confidence. That was what Avalock was.
This guy is everything, the opposite. Basically, she says that, like, you're my bodyguard. The other two that you saw before,
yeah,
they're going to kill me. I need you to spy on them, find this book.
He's like, oh, no, I can't do that.
And now that you're my bodyguard and they want to get to me, they're going to get through you as well.
Yeah.
And he's just having a little freak out. He's like,
I can't do this.
And then she steals his cloak and is like, I need this because I need to go see my people.
Yeah, and we'll get to that, but Avalock is he's so pathetic. He's just... Because he's also tasked with stealing a Lenny's book.
Yeah.
That's on, like, realm traveling magic, I believe.
Also, I have to say, one thing that the Empress says is really creepy. Whereas he's like, why me? She's like, you're perfect.
Yeah, and her reasoning for this is because he acted on instinct. You know, the one thing.
It's so creepy. Like, if a woman said that to me, I'd be like, heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, he even tried to tell her that I'm an empress. I'm not.
He's an apprentice, yeah.
Apprentice, yeah.
He's like, I don't know how to do this.
He tried to make it very clear. I am horribly unqualified for this job. Why are you making me your bodyguard?
Yeah. So my notes here is like, so let me get this straight. You tell this guy, you're a spy for me now. Steal this book from this man that now wants to kill both of us, and give me your cloak because I want to go leave in disguise despite seeing my face fully while wearing this cloak. Yeah. Also still wearing the same dress I was wearing before. Oh. And like, the annoying thing is, this happened in the first episode with the Lark. They're like, hoods on. And they put hoods on. Oh, I don't know if I can do it with my... I know I can. They're like, hoods on. They won't see me. They can't tell who I am because my hood's on. I can see your face.
Exactly.
They can see your face. Like, that's...
It's not like a Nazgul hood where it goes all the way down. It's like shadowy and stuff. No, we see you.
Dumb. So dumb.
I also want to... The thing that also gets me, she's just able to wear this cloak and walk out of the palace. Yeah. She should be watched all the damn time.
And she walks out the gates
around every corner.
And guards aren't like, oh, Empress, you're meant to be in the chambers. That's why her words are this and that. No, she just walks out. Again, this shows also the budget of the show. It's lots of close-ups, blurry background, and it's just voices.
This is supposed to be depicting the problems that this civilization is going through right now. And all we have is her face, which unfortunately is not very extensive. We can't really get a sense of what's going on.
She's looking around, and then people were like, move out the way, hurry up, slow down, I can't see. Like, it's...
Did you crack up when there was like that random lady just singing to her? Sees her face.
Oh, yeah. Just looks at her. Yeah. She looks down at her. Oh, I wonder if I can...
Oh, if you could get the screenshot, that'd be great. It's right there.
Yeah, this lady just looks up and she starts going, hi. I'd be like, man, my people are crazy. And then she walks around. Oh, yeah.
We see Eridan's walking in the streets. Alone! Lord Commander of all the armies in the Empire, alone! Anyone could take a shot at him. Anyone could kill him. Anyone could end that. Cut the head off the snake, as it were. Anyone could. But no, he's fine. He's just out there all on his own. It's all right. No problem at all.
Just doing his thing. Anyway, he's walking down the street. And he should be able to see her.
That's the thing. This would be the equivalent of Stalin walking around Soviet Russia.
Yeah.
Just walking around. It's like, oh, it's fine. I don't have any bodyguards. I don't need them. No
and all these people apparently are hating you.
Yeah.
It's going to be very easy. And if a kitchen hand can kill the Empress in the castle,
you're vulnerable out the streets. Oh, but we got to get another stupid visual that happens. He bumps into the disguised Empress and is none the wiser.
He purposefully looks up away at her, doesn't see her, and looks back, looks down, and is like, "Oh, that robe's like the
that's
Empress."
Like Avalock's robe.
She looks at him. He looks back.
And here's the thing about this:
camera, out of mind.
Yep. Another thing that also gets me is he bumped into her. That would have moved the cloak around a little bit. Maybe you could have seen the really expensive dress that she was wearing.
Yeah.
What peasant would have that?
And then she decides to hide behind a wall as he goes into a secret
The thing that gets me, though, is it would just take that one... It doesn't take much for her to reveal that she's the Empress because she didn't get changed.
Yeah. She says to the, and she doesn't even take off her makeup, doesn't
Yeah.
change her hair, literally puts on a cloak and is like, I'm good.
Yeah, and no one was there. And that's the thing. It's worse. It's one thing for Eridan to be out there on his own as well. The Empress being out there on her own, wearing what she's wearing, using only a cloak as a disguise. One wrong move, and you reveal how expensive what you're wearing is, you're dead. You've already seen that one of the commoners wants you dead. Oh, so stupid. Anyway, point is, she starts following Eridan, and then we see him threatening some guy. As you can see right there, he's holding a knife to this man's throat. And it's about info being leaked about the guild stuff. What's more important here, though, is we have the perfect visual for this. Eridan drops his knife. And is...
They're lovers.
It's getting there. I was building up to it.
Oh, sorry. I'll cut that bit and we'll do that again.
All right, so Eridan drops his knife. He starts being all calm, and then this man kisses him on the forehead. Now, this isn't like a Aragorn kissing Boromir on the forehead just as Boromir has passed away as like a king farewelling his great warrior. No. It could have been that for a second. Let's continue, though, as to what happens. They then kiss on the lips. So they turned Eridan. I'll bring up the visual again. This guy! Into this. Does this compute?
Also, he's the shorter one, so you know he's the
They turned
he's the
Eridan
smaller
gay.
one.
They turned Eridan gay. I can't believe I'm seeing this. I kind of feel like people would be like, no way. No way.
Right.
Why would they turn... How could they turn Eridan gay?
They
That
did.
doesn't make any sense. But they did. That's the thing that happened. This is a real thing we watched.
Also, can I be real with you? If this is his lover, he put a dagger on him.
Yep.
He was like, you told them this. If my wife picks up a knife and threatens me at all, that's when I'm out of there. Okay? The fact that your SO is like, got a knife to your neck, and it's like, you were drunk and stupid?
Yeah.
Bro, no.
Well...
Like, that's not
Yeah,
cool.
it's out of character for everything, but it's more out of character for this guy because he's supposed to be this power-hungry lunatic that shows up in the future.
Yeah.
If you're going to even try to do anything with, like, the books or even tie into the games, which that's why Eridan and Avalock are here. Let's be real. They're trying to bank off the games.
Yeah, they are.
And the thing is with Eridan is this isn't a character that would even waste time romancing anyone because he's too busy trying to conquer everything and become like an all-powerful multi-realm demon.
Yeah. That makes total sense. Also,
He wouldn't even like romance women. Having him being in any romantic thing is like...
waste of time.
I was just going to say, it's like making Sauron fall in love with someone, but that actually happened. I hate this timeline.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry.
What a weird world we're in.
We really are living in this in a sad world. Also, these two grown men are very sissy and emasculine. They're like,
Oh yeah,
I'm
it's not
sorry,
even like 80s gay.
Like they just are so feminine.
Yeah.
That it's like doesn't make sense for his character's meant to be this big tyrant, which you would think would be
You
more
would think, yeah.
toxic masculinity in the sense that they love pushing in shows like this,
I
but
just
instead,
can't- yeah.
he's just this like sissy guy. Also,
They turned him into a sympathetic...
simpy boy.
Yeah. Why'd they make Eridan, of all people, sympathetic?
And why? Okay, just ignoring law. Why are you telling your boyfriend all this crucial information
Yeah.
about the kingdom and whatever?
Yeah.
If you know because you probably know like what he's like, getting drunk and talking to other merchants. Like that's so dumb. And then later in the scene, he tells him more crucial information,
Yep.
and is like, "Oh, I didn't know that." He goes, "You still don't." It's like, you nearly died the first time because of this.
Yeah.
Don't make it a second. Like, what are you doing? This is so dumb on so many levels.
Yeah.
So many levels. You're being
You got the lore
stupid.
aspect, you've got the common sense aspect, you got the writing aspect, you got the character aspect. The fact that he's cowering like a little wimp, it just does not compute in my brain.
No.
I can't understand it.
You can't
How
see
is
it.
it? This is the thing. In the Witcher games, in Witcher 3, Eridan's supposed to be a foil for Avalock. They're supposed to be against each other later on, and they're both reduced to this. It's so like That's the thing. They clearly want to do like Wild Hunt stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet that they're gonna make these two go into a different realm and do like the try and be lore accurate. But you can't. It's you can't do that. And here's the thing, if they want to do that, why have them be here and be like this? Is this just to kick the fans of the games in the nads because you're just so jealous that the games did better than you? Is that what that is? It has to be, right? Why do this otherwise?
I don't know.
And it's not because, oh, he's gay, therefore he's bad. No. It's the fact that Eridan romancing anyone is stupid. Avalock being wimpy in any sense is stupid. Oh, this is the goofiest turd nugget of diarrhea I've ever seen in my life. Like, this might take the cake for the worst fantasy I've ever seen. And I've watched Rings of Power, Willow, and like all the other
you've
witches
seen the
stuff.
other witches, yeah?
Yeah,
It's up there.
it's really bad.
Anyways, they have a big chit chat.
Yeah. Oh, look, Eridan is so compassionate for his male lover. Look how sensitive he is about offending him. Okay. How do we tackle this, Nathan? Where do we begin? Okay, so we learn Lenny is up to something dastardly, harnessing like dark chaos magic and all that. And he has an assistant.
Who is deaf. Who speaks through sign language.
Yes.
Um,
Because we had to be that inclusive.
and
In
you
a
know,
medieval setting.
You know what she says to him? I'm worried about you. You need to be careful. What if Eridan finds out?
This pissed me off so much because they're like, oh, Eridan's menacing, actually. He's a threat. How is he a threat?
Apparently he's not, because he's also afraid of him finding out about the others. Like, again,
so
everyone's
silly.
afraid of each other. Like, nothing's going to happen because everyone's too mortified of what's
Yep.
going to do. Oh.
No one's the overconfident dictator in all this.
No. And, look, say what you want about the deaf representation.
I found it weird and jarring.
It came off, I think, as cheap. I'm sure this actress was really happy to have a role in Netflix, and it's probably like, you know,
deserved a
I've got
better
a job.
role.
I tell you what, it makes no sense to where you are in the story right now.
Yeah.
Like, she shows up with them later when they go through the portal, and she just stands there and watches, and it's like, oh, are they like a thing? I don't know.
Well, she's, I guess, personal assistant?
A personal assistant of some sort, but I
don't get it.
In this climate, okay, it's like we say before in other reviews, any other time period in the world we're watching this, we'd be like,
Alright.
yay, diversity, you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
alright, whatever.
But this feels like such a checkmark response to, okay, we've got to have LGBTQ plus things.
Yep.
We've got to have women in power, women of color.
Yep.
And now we're going to have basically disabilities. And it sucks because I feel like these people who probably, you know, she may have worked really hard to be a good actress because of, you know, the disadvantages she has. And instead she has to be played in these roles where basically she isn't given this because of how good she is.
Yeah, she's not given
as an actress.
She's not given a character.
She's
There isn't
like,
anything.
You are deaf and know sign language. Come into our show and just be
Exist.
there. Okay? It's nothing on her character or skills, which is maybe like a few other characters in the show as well, who obviously get hired just because of how they look or what attributes they have, not actually who they are as a person.
Yeah, they're not. There's no story to tell with these characters. It's just, it's there.
Yeah. So
Give
again,
us an applause.
this was just Netflix, the studio, trying to get brownie points for having something diverse in it that's different.
Exactly. And that's the thing. They've been doing this since season 1 with the whole mixing of the world. Again, I say it. This is supposed to be a Slavic epic fantasy filled with Slavs. This was made in Poland by a Polish person. Why are you constantly doing this? I mean, at least she could be Slavic. I mean, to be fair, she's got, like, the look.
Yeah.
So she, despite, you know, just look-wise, she belongs here.
Yes.
More than Lenny does.
Yes.
Anyway, the gist of it is Lenny wants to transform into a monster. Don't know why. He's already got a monster at his will, but...
he just wants more power. He wants chaos magic.
And they thought that visual's really cool. Oh, look, back to our band of morons. And they're sneaking up on the bounty hunter. And the bounty hunter just
It's like
he's just standing there. He
Yeah.
knows they're there, but they're still sneaking up anyway. They should rush him, really, because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, they're over the person we're trying to save. Kill him!
yeah, and instead he's like, it's all good. And then okay, for me seeing this, I'm like, oh, you're not dangerous at all because he gets his meat cleaver.
Yeah.
And he just scratches.
Yeah,
his
he's
beard.
just like shaving.
It's like that is not sharp at all. Then if your
No.
beard wasn't cut, if you didn't cut yourself on that,
Yeah.
then you're not a threat.
No.
I've got little dagger things here. I can just throw them at you. I've got a big giant axe thing. I can
And that's the
cut you in
thing.
half.
He asked them what they did to earn the bounties, and Lark, like a very intelligent person, decides to say, "We're gonna kill the Empress." And it's like, oh, so you just confirmed you are the person that he was looking for.
Yeah. And then he has this whole backstory of like, you know, that empire killed a village with some good people.
Yeah.
I thought I was done with Kellen, but I guess Kellen wasn't done with me.
Yeah, the thing is,
A recurring line here that writers like to use. I thought I was done with Thing, but Thing wasn't done with me.
and the thing that gets me though, it's when they think he's like here to kill them, they just let him monologue.
Look, I love how he was like, "My name is Kellen."
Wait,
But
we
most-
gotta hold up there for a second.
Really? Okay.
I'm
okay.
sorry. The thing is though, what are the odds of him being on their side?
Very low.
Yeah, because you'd think that all these posters have been around, there'd be numerous bounty hunters. What's the odds that the one bounty hunter that finds them is friendly and actually is like, you know what? I'd like to join your team.
Yeah.
I want vengeance on this empire as well. I can't. It's too much, man. It's just too much. I don't understand.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, and the thing is, he admits that he's here to help them, but he stood in the way of them getting to the person who was also a useful asset and friend.
Yeah, he stood
Yeah,
in front
yeah.
of her.
He wouldn't go immediately and say, "Hey guys, I'm on your side. Go help your friend. We'll talk after you've done that. Let's do that. I'll
Instead, he
help you
walked
take
in
to a
front-
healer." And he's just like, "Yeah, you know, I'm here on bounty. This is how I found you." It's so
itching the
stupid.
chin with the mimic cleaver. Really just put something inside my head of like, this guy is just really annoying.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. That's so
Anyway,
dumb. Also,
Go on to what
Yeah.
you're going to go on to when you're ready.
the other two now are friends because they're like, how can we trust him? Where like last episode, it's like, I need to help my clan. F your clan.
Yeah, exactly.
Like now all of a sudden they're best
Yeah,
buds.
now they're just trusting this random guy. But Nathan, I know you're eager to
Okay,
talk
okay.
about this person's name.
Okay,
So
so-
go for it.
My name is Callan, but most call me Brother Death. And then
We're not joking.
the Master Sword lady is just like, I have a brother. He's dead. And it is done in such a way that like if the tone of the show wasn't so serious, I would think this a comedy.
Yep.
The amount of times it's like, oh yes, my brother, I have one of those, and he's dead too, like your name. Oh, like it's the script is awful. The direction for the show has been awful. I can't say any more. Like, I'm speechless.
Yeah, it's unreal.
And then he's like,
this shouldn't be possible.
because she's like in a bad state, and there's him doing the beard thing,
Yeah.
and she's so not threatening.
No, what's that pose, man? Like, I'm gonna do this. Look, I'm holding the knife here. She looks like she's gonna. She looks like this for some reason. I just keep
Yeah,
on
like she's
thinking,
gonna
I'm
eat.
gonna eat stuff.
Anyways, and then their friend there's dying.
Yeah.
And then he's like, smell the wound. And so she do you see a wound there?
No.
No wound. She just smells her
And
like
the thing is,
armpit.
later on, we see the wounds on the back,
Yeah. She
not
just
the shoulder.
goes to the elbow and goes, oh,
Smells like death.
smells like bad BO. Yeah, because you've been walking all day. You need to take a bath.
And Death Bro, that's what we're gonna call him now, Death Bro, because
Death, bro.
it works. He offers to help Asian Swordmaster by taking them to a mage, but he also says that the mage is more likely to kill them rather than help them.
Yeah.
I guess they're desperate, so fine, they go to the mage, but
Well, she
it's
says
not very helpful information, is it?
she says you'll be faster in Zentrea without me.
Yeah.
Well, now they've got an extra member, so I feel like the speed was going to be back the same because
Mm.
before she was walking fine and being fine.
Yeah.
And she's like, leave me here under the stars. Lady, it's broad daylight. And also before, when she told you to leave and you said no, and then she insists and you just, the lark, does it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the same thing's going to happen here. Like, if no one else was here to interfere, she'd be like, leave me, go. No, I can't leave you. Leave me, go. Okay. And she'd just do it. She would. She would.
Might as well. But anyway, like, when they start setting out, the narrator again states the obvious.
Can I read what the guy said about the healer?
Yeah, go for it.
I know a
Then we'll go
healer,
there.
a mage of a sort, powerful, and she'll just as likely kill you if she doesn't like the look of you. Okay, who is this person?
Yeah, they sound deranged, don't they?
They're meant to be like a healer, mage, someone who helps, but if they don't like how you look, that's a bit problematic. Judging people based on their looks, where they're from, or whatever.
Like I said, they're desperate, so why not? But
Again,
why did this Muppet say it like that?
they're making stakes. They're trying to build stakes. Like, oh, this person, it could be a threat. I don't know. We need to take the risk.
Could be big danger, but
Also, when we meet them, there is no threat.
yeah.
She's like the nicest one that we've seen so far in this series of Band of Adventurers. She's like the most... No threat.
Yeah.
Biggest pile of bullcrap.
They
What
couldn't
this guy
resist.
said.
Yeah, they couldn't resist, but there's a lot of that in this show.
And then they have the whole thing of like the whole continent is looking for them.
Yep.
Again, I still don't understand why or how.
Like, that's the thing. Whole continent looking for him. One guy that could kill them. I'm on your side.
Yeah, apparently the whole continent isn't looking for you, and I still don't understand why, because I don't... What was their threat? What was the threat if they were able to kill everyone else in the clan?
I suppose they're trying to go for, the story of them going up against an empire is very powerful.
But they
Everyone
haven't
can
even
do
done that.
No, they haven't.
If you didn't make them want it, they'd be like, oh, actually, maybe we could live our lives normally.
Yeah, and that would be it. But no. Anyway, can we talk about the narrator now?
Yeah, the narrator.
What did I say? Do you got the quote?
I don't have the narrator quote, no.
Oh, okay. The gist of it is like this. Now our band of three became four.
Oh, yeah. They can count.
Yes. They can count from like 1 to...
Yeah. Anyways, we go to this mist. This mist thing happens.
Oh, look! Before we get there, she's walking again!
Kind of.
So, again, I'm confused. Can she walk? Can she not walk? Because it would be really nice if, like, he carried her or something.
Yeah.
She's wounded.
Yeah, apparently
poisoned,
not, though.
something like that. But, no. I mean, look, they both look strong. One of them could do it.
Yeah. And then they go through the mist. They have these visions, really gross visions.
Yeah.
This guy's brother. There's a
and then-
sex scene. Look, I'm going to skip past this bit just because it's really...
Basically, yeah, the whole gist of it is watch his comrade die.
It's his brother, yeah.
Yeah, and then he sexes the Empress in a black void. And
While
then-
looking over at his brother. And is
then-
like...
Yeah, the brother's just like got his like torso carved in half.
Yeah, he's just like...
and it's just hanging.
drinking and like... It makes no... Like, here's the thing. House of the Dragon had stuff like this in it, but it all had a purpose.
Yeah.
It all made sense.
Yeah.
I felt... For me, this is just senseless sex.
It's also, and they just devolve into, creepy black goo. It's gonna swallow him.
And then he comes out the water somehow.
Yeah. And then we have Lark.
She has a vision of how she burnt children.
Really makes us really like it, huh?
Yeah, wow.
What a lovely person.
Yeah. And then this is the lady he was talking about.
Yeah, this is the threatening one, apparently.
The Siri lookalike. Because they gotta remind you, this is still Witcher. There's a white-haired person, it's Witcher, okay?
Yeah, it totally counts. At least we saw beforehand finding this person, which, by the way, that's some thick fog. How'd you find them in this exact spot? How did everyone end up at this exact spot?
Death bro of Death,
Yeah.
that's his lover. That's how he found out, because,
Yeah.
they're
But
hitched.
still, it's hard to find them.
But also my confusion is that, like, okay, if this is your girlfriend or whoever, and...
Why'd you describe them like that?
Like a crazy person, like, like, if they don't like ya, they're gonna kill ya. Which she is not like that at all. She just sees them all and goes, yes, let's heal your friend. Yada, yada, yada.
It's not time.
No threat. It was an empty threat.
There was also at least Death Bro ended up carrying Skian, the Asian.
Yeah, but that's the
Swordmaster?
annoying thing too, right? The Lark was all like, oh no. And then, like, he ends up, sorry, not him. That guy ends up carrying
Yeah.
a
Asian
swordmaster Asian lady through the whole thing. And the
Yeah.
Lark's just like, you can do it. I'm not going to help her.
Yeah, I know,
Like,
right?
you think if you cared so much about her, which apparently in previous scenes that she does, she'd at least be on the other side, like, helping her lift up or whatever.
Yeah,
And there's this whole thing. This guy shows up.
Yeah, this guy. I think he was in the first episode, wasn't he?
I can't remember.
I don't know either, because it's all blending together. I think he was.
I think he was too, but it's very forgettable.
Discount Don Glover, is it? It does look like
I
that.
don't remember.
He's the guy from, like, who played Lando in Solo.
Yeah, he does look like that. I don't,
Yeah, it does.
he isn't, but
Looks similar, though.
he does.
Turns out Dogman is very unhappy with this person. And to the point where it nearly attacks him.
Yeah.
And then Death Bro's wife force pushes him off
And it's
the
like-
cliff into a little pond. It's like, I'm more angry at him than you. So until then, don't hurt him. Very odd dialogue.
It's like, are you though? Because you
it's
don't
like, 'cause
ever.
you're protecting him. So why wouldn't you just let what happens if you don't like him that much?
And then they're like, we need to help your friend. And
Yeah,
then
we need
because
to get
things are
them-
getting boring, we need a cutaway to something else that's boring so you don't lose interest.
Where do we begin with this scene?
So the dwarf is insane, but not
Yes.
in an interesting way. Like Joker has this insanity, but
Yeah.
it's got this interesting aspect to it.
Yeah.
I have no interest in this dwarf.
No.
There is no investment. All I've seen her do is kill people and talk to a hammer. There's nothing redeemable, nothing interesting at all with this dwarven lady.
Yep.
That makes me want to watch the show. Like every time she comes up, there's been no connection either. We're near the we're past the halfway point now of this episode. We still have no context or explanation why she's here, what she's doing, what's her purpose. Why, as a viewer, should I care?
Yeah.
Because right now, I don't.
Oh, but her lover was killed. Her lesbian lover was killed. Which, by the way, that builds a really big pattern. Let's do a count of what has happened in this show, just to make it clear. So we have lesbian dwarf, we have gay Eridan,
Yep.
we have Lenny's personal assistant being disabled, and we have many Black and Asian people in a land that's supposed to be Slavic. Propaganda. That's all I can say. Yeah, check every single box. This is the most. Oh, it's just. This is everything that we talk about here all the time. It's just so apparent, and they just.
Anyway, this
And I have to do it to Witcher as well.
The dwarf is just singing and talking about her
Yeah,
her
it turns
lover
out-
Gwen.
Oh, by the way, another thing we got to mention. You know how you talked about investment? Oh yeah, she just killed the guy that killed her lover. It's just that easy. It happened off screen. It's
just
already
happened.
done. Yeah,
Okay,
the quest over.
So yeah, she just killed him.
And the elf had a thing for dwarven girls, apparently, which is like, what were they trying to go with by telling us that?
I don't know.
I'm sure that would happen in this world. And then we get that little thing. Now, do you want to talk about the narrator and what they say after she's completed her quest?
What did she say?
It was pretty much along the lines of, this dwarf was done with elves.
Oh, but elves weren't done with the dwarves. Why, writers? Can you not think of other ways to say things? Why do you keep repeating yourselves? Like, this had to be made by AI or someone so lazy they just copied and pasted. Like, why?
It's too much. How is it possible that we can find so much? We have gone through so many notes, so many plot holes, so many contrivances, so many just things that evidence just how terrible this show is, and we're still not done. It never ends.
Anyways, they open a portal.
Yeah,
somehow
Lenny's got some children that are
children?
celestial twins, which I don't ask me. I don't know, even though I've experienced the Witcher stuff. I have no clue.
Oh, celestial twins, because then the other people, they're celestial twins too, we see later.
Ah.
She talks about it. So they're gonna, that's gonna connect to something now, isn't it? Anyways, he somehow finds these children, don't know who they are.
Yeah,
he has
who
his
cares?
assistant who's just witnessing a massacre, basically.
Yeah.
And he just
Brings it to this weird portal person that's an evil chaos entity and
Yep.
sacrifices the children to them.
basically, that's it.
And then sucks out their powers, and he gets like a chaos flame in his hand, because now we're Dark Souls, apparently.
Yeah, he just gathers the souls, and then she's like, "Oh, damn!" And then he like gets it for a bit, and then he's like, "Why is it gone?" And she's like, like a small sacrifice for a small taste of chaos or whatever.
Yeah, which...
It's like, ugh, okay, great, thanks. I really enjoyed that scene. That really just invoked a lot of feelings inside me. Thank you.
Because he killed the children to get that. And the problem is, though, when Lenny is experiencing the power, like, he's actually doing a good job acting how much he's enjoying it. Then the narrator comes in and says he's enjoying the power. He's having a great time.
Thank you, because I didn't know that already.
Yeah, we couldn't tell.
Here's the thing too, right? In shows where there's narration, like in Spider-Man,
Yeah.
he usually narrates the first place, like, "Hi, I'm Spider-Man. This is my story."
Yeah.
And like it's not like, "Man, school life's hard." And then once you're like in the story, narrator stops because you don't need narration.
Yeah, we can see it.
Like Deadpool kind of does it as well in the movies.
Yeah.
Like it's like at the start and at the end. In the middle, nothing. So this whole show, the narrator's talking, and everything is so dumb.
Yeah, it's just, and this was just another example of it. And we learn, well, we skipped a bit. We learned that to get more power, Lenny has to sacrifice something that he really cares about. Now, that's going to be a bit hard for Lenny, don't you think? Because what does he care about other than himself?
So does it mean he has to like sacrifice himself and then he gets? But wouldn't that make a paradox? Would that bring a paradox then? Because then if he sacrifices himself, then he'll get the powers. But then because he gets the powers, he hasn't sacrificed himself. Therefore, he wouldn't get the powers. Like it'd just be like an eternal loop of just like.
Well, the thing is, there's going to be someone that he cares about. But whoever the hell he cares about is. Oh, you might be right. You might actually be onto something there. Which would be really silly.
It would be also very messed up.
Yeah, very messed up.
Because she's like, "I care about you. I hope you're all right."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "I don't care about you no more."
Anyway, we go back to a scene. Oh, look, it's Eridan.
Yeah, he's had a good night.
Yeah, and the Empress has come to see him. Oh, and look, his lover is in the room as well. You'll see that too.
And then he's all like, "I'm gonna grab a knife and I'm gonna kill her, whatever." And then she's like, "Come on in.
Yeah, let's
I know
have
you're
some
awake.
tea and cupcakes or something.
I'm gonna talk and be menacing now because suddenly my confidence and personality has completely changed.
Yeah,
I'm no longer dumb and timid and airheady. I've got a plan, and you're gonna be a part of it."
yeah. And she makes...
Like, look at the way that she. Also, her hair is worse than Princess Leia's hair. Like, I get the buns. I get were kind of dumb, but like her other stuff in A New Hope, not New Hope, in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, were like reasonable hairdos.
This is the attempt at trying.
She's just like got the. It's like a you get it at like horse games. The people who like dress with the big fancy hats.
Except it's her hair.
It's her hair, and it's creepy.
It's weird.
She gives me creepy vibes.
The thing is, in this scene though, she's obviously about to blackmail him, but she also says that I'm going to just keep calling him Eridan because that's all I can see now. I can't reconcile Eridan / this character. So Eridan, he's apparently the Empress is going to make his lover ambassador of trade for the Empire. Now the thing is, why these two would ever accept that is beyond me. Why Eridan's person would accept that is just so silly, because that just puts more attention on you both.
Yeah.
So if you go even out in the streets together, for like a little walk,
They'll be like,
there will be spies and there will be people suspicious. That just opens up more problems. But
he's
no,
like,
that's not counted for at all.
"But the possibilities. Look what we could do for ourselves. Maybe they'll accept us."
Oh, it's so stupid. At least with one of them being prominent and the other one being incognito, it could kind of work.
Yeah.
It can't work any other
Both
way.
ways. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, she blackmails them.
And the thing is that she's like, "Oh, I'm just going to make this person that doesn't have any experience on that level of responsibility. Yeah, I'll make you an
I'm
master
sure the
trade."
guy who's next in line or who was previously in charge isn't going to be annoyed at that at all and come after the Empress or the guy who now is in charge.
Yeah, and now a weird thing that happens in this scene, I'm not sure if you noticed it. Suddenly she's behaving like Eridan is like some power-hungry conqueror.
Yeah. But we
But
haven't seen that.
He's not.
He's always like, oh no, they're running out of grain. You told them they're going to kill me.
Yeah.
Why is everything so hard?
Yeah, that's the thing. In this scene, she comes off as more power-hungry than he is.
Yeah.
Which, again, given who this is supposed to be, makes no sense.
We go to this next scene, right? It's funny how if you take away the Queen's segment,
Yeah.
and you just have them where they are now and
Yep.
then before, wasn't the last scene the crew, her being like, we need to help your friend, and now they're all just like walking, she's still injured,
Yeah.
and the Lark's acting like she doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like, look, she's right next to her,
Yeah.
and she's just like, I'm walking.
Yeah.
Like, you would help your friend. It's just,
Nah.
it's just very confusing.
And again, she's on her feet again. Just carry her.
Carry her, and all of a sudden it's all clear.
Yeah, that's,
It
that's
makes
another thing.
no sense.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, look, treehouse, which is brilliant.
It looks like a hornet's nest.
Yeah, it does.
It does not look like a treehouse. It looks like a
I
hornet's
thought
nest.
beehive at first, but then I was like,
Yeah.
beehives look nicer.
Yeah, no, hornet's nest is
So-
the way to go.
Yeah, and so they're just inside there, and the healing process begins. And we learned that this lass and the other guy, they're celestial twins, because here is the criteria for that. You must be born at the same time, in the same village.
Under
Un-
the same star.
That's all it is. That means we have a celestial twin out there, Nathan.
Yeah,
For each of us. Like,
Yeah.
must be.
must be. Must
I
be.
wonder who they are.
But you know what? They're siblings. That's the thing. It's like,
It's
so,
like-
so how you two know each other? We're siblings.
And
Somehow.
Yeah.
But you know what she says as well after they
Yeah.
say that?
Yeah.
But you know what? That was a long time ago.
What the
That doesn't make okay. When
No.
you're like, you guys used to be like best buddies growing up in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. That makes sense. Talking about how you were siblings, the fact that time has passed doesn't affect the fact that you're still celestial siblings or whatever. That doesn't make any sense.
Apparently, this show. It
Again,
does.
Just stupid things where like,
Yeah.
it was a long time. Like you're just adding in little prefixes to the end and the start of your sentences to sound smarter than you actually are. There isn't actually any intelligence coming out your mouths.
Nope, nothing. It's all empty. Anyway, to make like a... You remember how like the whole skiing being ill was such an important thing? Oh,
Yeah.
don't worry about it. She's healed.
She's here now.
It's,
All good.
it's done. It
All
was
good.
that easy. And look, she's fine. She even talks like normally, and it's
She's
like,
like, "Oh."
if nothing ever happened.
Much better. And then
Anyway,
these
now
two.
we get to Nathan. Where do we begin with this conversation?
Oh.
This conversation is dumber than you people might realize.
So what did he say first? He's like,
What happened in Zentrea?
yeah, and then,
And
he's-
then this guy's like, I was traveling portals. I really was enjoying that. It's like,
the non sequitur.
just get to the point.
Frustrating non sequitur. That's not how conversations work.
Yep.
When I say, okay, Marcus, how was your day?
I want to travel to another world.
Marcus, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling very depressed, and my ambition was to travel to the new world and find these lands of endless resources and all of this. I wanted to also help my friend Lenny to conquer the world and all. That's how this happens.
It's like going through drive-through and then being like, hi, can I take your order? And you're like, hi, I'm here to enroll in my kid's primary school. They're like, that's nice. I'm here to like feed you food, fast
Yeah.
food. And you're like, great. See, my kid, they were born 5 years ago and they're now the age in which they have to go and get an education.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I can somehow enroll them. And the person on the other end just like, man, this is a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like that's how non
can't help
sequitur.
you.
Like the stuff is so frustrating because it just
At least Dogman's face is very
yeah.
accurate.
He's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, and basically the guy goes on to say we found endless lands with endless resources. And this somehow happened in a medieval context.
But also remember they went to those endless lands and there were no resources. They were all desolate. They were all empty.
Yeah.
He's like, I found this book and it had this stuff and we went and did the thing and it wasn't true. Sad.
Now, here's the thing. Me and Nathan watched this, and we both got really furious at the screen.
And so he tells...
Our fists nearly went through the screen.
He hopefully this is the right part we're talking about. So basically he tells them all the context of this.
Yeah.
He tells them all the background, how everything's happened.
And
then he's like, so Balor is behind all this?
Yep.
And he's like, oh, you didn't know?
And here it comes.
And then...
The Empress contributed and killed your sister.
Now, there's two issues. So
there's a few issues we got to break down here.
I think I'll get to the killing sister bit after my bit.
You sure?
Yes. Basically, because my point is, he tells him all of these things,
Yep.
gives him all the context, and then he's like, you didn't know that?
Mm.
It's like me. It's like a teacher teaching a subject, and then going to students, what, you didn't know about algebra? Oh, that's weird. I just taught you all of it. Like, you're giving all this context because you assume they don't know it. And then you tell them all the context, and then you say, oh, you didn't know that context I just explained to you because I didn't think you knew all the talk. What are these people doing?
And that's like the broad strokes context.
Yeah.
The next part, which is even worse,
is finding out the Empress killed your sister.
Yeah. Now, we did miss something here. The Empress told Eridan, you need to get Dogman back for me alive.
Yeah.
Because I need an heir.
And he needs to give me that heir.
This makes her not only an idiot, but an evil idiot. Beyond belief. Because you expect that you can kill this man's sister, and you expect that he's just going to go along with it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we have all this, and then basically they have a big world-ending threat.
Yep.
Because now they're like, also, the portals are leaking, and we only have a few days left before the world ends.
Yeah, apparently realm tears, which I am baffled by how that works. Because didn't they make these?
Yeah.
That was the impression I got. Did you get the same thing?
Yeah, they're like a man-made type thing.
And you can already see how this is going. Like, this show's about the conjunction of the spheres. They've already mentioned it a few times. That's going to be how it's done.
Yeah.
It couldn't just be a thing that happened. It had to be caused by something.
Yeah, it had to be the elves are playing with things they shouldn't have, you know.
Anyway, do you want to get into how they have to deal with the monument? Like, how do they stop this world-ending threat?
Well, for starters, the Swordmaster lady's like, the gods have brought us together, and we're like, thank you for saying your quote, which you are hired to say.
Yeah.
Because that's a very Chinese. The gods, the spirits are here to help. Like, it was said in such a way where I was like, this isn't contributing to conversation.
All the conveniences led to this. That is part of stopping the world from ending. All of them.
Lenny has a book about the portals.
Yes.
This guy figured out that you can use those portals to travel around different places. That's how he escaped prison.
Yes.
And so they want to go. Okay, you have to help me with this one.
Yeah, I'll try.
So they want to go through the portal.
Yes.
To stop the other portal.
Yes.
To stop everything from leaking.
Yeah, to stop the end of the world.
Yeah.
So, and they think that Lenny will not be able to figure out that they're using portals.
Yeah.
To stop the end of the world.
Yeah.
That is stupid, because Lenny has the book where this guy got the information from about what portals can do, taking you to a different realm. And we saw a scene where Lenny went through that monolith to a different realm. So
you would think that this guy would be, okay, if my other friend here can use portals to teleport to different places.
Apparently Lenny's not going to know at all.
Apparently he's just too thick-skulled.
Yep.
And then they have this whole thing where they're like, we have no choice. We have no sellswords.
We need to use the portal to get to
What have you been trying to do for the past 2 episodes? They're like, sellswords. Man, those sellswords, they're just going to bring them up the whole time.
Yep.
I reckon there's going to be a part where it's like, we need sellswords. We would have sellswords. We've got an army instead. Like, they're going to do some, cheesy dumb thing because they keep bringing up sellswords, and it's really, really annoying.
Well, the thing that got me is about the whole, how they stop the end of the world. We got to destroy the big monolith.
Yeah.
Not all the other monoliths, just the big one.
Just the big bad one.
And here's the thing. After this, the narrator says something absolutely just, it's important information. We absolutely need to hear it. Everyone's basically on board with destroying the big monolith. So they're all on board with this plan to go into that one that we see right now on the screen to get to the master one. And the narrator, our band of 4, became, what was it?
6? 6?
Was it 8?
7? Hey,
There was one member missing, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I think it was 6 actually.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah,
A band of 4 became 6.
because that was the narrator's contribution to this
Man,
story.
I wonder how much you got paid to say that. Anyways, this other thing happens, right? So I'm confused about how elves work in this world now.
Yes.
Like, not in Witcher lore, because you've already explained to me how that all works. In this Netflix adaptation of what some say is Witcher, because these are all elves.
Yes.
And they're basically saying, oh, we're being sent back to the city because that's where we're going to be stationed.
Yes.
And then they say, I didn't think they liked elves there. But or elven. They're like elven.
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like
They said
elven
like
people.
elfins or something.
Elfins or something. It's like, is that a subrace of elves?
And it's like, well, you asked me that, and I'm like, I don't know anything about
And
that.
I googled it,
Yeah.
and everything that comes up about this is related to the show.
Of course.
Like IMDb and stuff, they're like, these are references to the TV show.
Because there was
I
like,
can't find anything actually lore-based about this.
yeah, because in the lore, you've got the characters like Eridan and Avalock that are An-El, and they're like the super tall, strong ones. Then you got Ansindel, I believe, and they're the normal elves that we see all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they didn't make that distinction at all, did they?
No, they did not. Anyway, and I'm just confused because these guys look like the exact same guys we've seen everywhere else.
Yes.
And basically the same. We're getting stationed in the big major city where everyone else is. We're not welcome there because we're a different type of elf, but you all look the same anyways. There isn't like any racial difference at all in terms of
Can
what
we
type
also
of elf you are.
mention the fact that there's only 3
Yeah.
of these guards guarding like
And
this
they're all
really
sitting down on the
important monolith?
ground, just being like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like
Yeah,
they were not ready.
It's fine. It's all good. No one's gonna come to this thing. It's not important at all.
Then this guy walks up, our good old death bro fella,
Yep.
and then Lark comes in and gets them, and then everyone else just shows up.
Yeah, they all kill them, and
Easy peasy, lemon
Yeah,
squeezy,
and
with the
now
little dagger knives.
yep. And now the portal is opened by this man,
Yep, and
and it's everything's going to plan apparently so far, right?
they go
Right.
in. Oh,
No, we gotta
Oh,
wait.
let me
We
play
gotta
that.
wait. So they go in. Oh, it's not the city. We're not where the big monolith thing is.
no, they're not.
Where are we? And then he's like, and they ask the guy who took them there,
Yeah.
where are
Are
we?
we?
And he's like, I don't know.
I thought this would take us to the city. Why are we in the city? So yeah, 2 moons, different place. This is not the city.
Yeah.
And they all freak out because they're like, "Why aren't we where you told us to be?" And
Yeah,
he's just
you
like,
said that that's how this works. We would, if we go through the portal, we get there.
Yeah.
And he just is confused as the rest of
He's just like,
they
I
are.
don't know. And then she somehow just walks ages away.
Yeah, she decides, you
Knowing-
know what? Now's the great time to explore. How about that?
Let's touch this dangly thing right here. And what?
Oh, look how cute it is.
Oh, we missed it. Hold on.
It's like, oh, look at this. It's so beautiful. Oh, we love it.
Big-
So she decided to attract the attention of a giant monster.
Big prawn monster. And then this is the frustrating thing of it all, right? Look how far away she is from everyone else.
Yeah.
She had to basically sprint to the little wall thing, like,
Oh,
what's
look
that?
pretty.
Touch it. And then runs away.
Yep.
And it's funny because she's like, she books it. She doesn't even. Oh, it's so. Just the way that she runs, it's so slow and whimsical. And they're like, oh crap, this is not where we want to be. Everyone else starts running. He's trying to open the portal. And it ends with her being like, guys, don't leave me. And it's chasing her.
Yep.
And then ate
That's how
her.
the episode ends.
I would love to stop here and be like, she got eaten. They all got eaten.
Yeah.
That's the end. Oh. Yeah, she says, no, wait for me. And it's done in such a comedic way again. Gosh, this show.
This was, again, people,
Oh.
this was one episode.
This was. I'm. Okay, some of you
I
probably love this long as review.
Oh.
Others may not. If you've gotten to this part,
Well
bravo.
done. You deserve a
Bravo.
round of applause.
You've been through what we've been through, basically.
Yeah.
That was
Pain.
pain. Absolute pain.
I mean, is this the worst thing?
This is the worst
This-
thing I reviewed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is it?
This is like Rings of Power, at least with Shad. We had some good laughs. This is just dumb and frustrating. Honestly. Anyways, I don't want to give you any more time for you guys.
Yeah,
You've already
please.
invested so much time into this episode, so thank you all so much for watching.
And as always, stay on watch.